it. You know, chipmunk to gray squirrel. Come in, gray squirrel.
Okay.
Don't you know you gotta stay sucker free, but especially on Sundays. This your girl Sarith telling you to tune in to the hostess with the mostest, Cloudy J and Devoya on the Sucker Free Sunday podcast.
And we took the wrong bus driver, and stuff like that. And we started talking, and we started talking about music because I had some records on me, right? That I had picked up at the store, right? And we're talking. And I was just like, "Oh, what'd you get?" I was like, you know what? My big come up was that Bloodstone. And she was like,
I would have looked at you sideways too.
And she was she's like, "What you know about Bloodstone?" And I was just like,
You do like doing that.
But this
G-Love and special sauce.
baby got sauce, yeah.
There's a song called Up on a Hill. And one time I had to drive all the way to some flower farm in Portland. And I dropped off some hippie kids there. And I drove all the way back, and that was the only CD I had in the car. And so I've heard that every time you say you live on a hill, I hear Up on a Hill. I'm pretty sure it's G-Love and Special Sauce. That's how long ago it was. And it wasn't my CD. It was like somebody left it in my car or something.
And it was the only thing you had.
It was all I had because that was not what I was anticipating on doing. Like dropping some people at a flower farm because they got stranded here. And I'm a sap, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it. And they paid for my gas, and I did a turnaround. I could never do a turnaround now. I would die.
Yeah.
It was a 7-hour drive there and a 7-hour drive home.
Oh, Jesus. That's insane.
It is. I couldn't do it now. At all.
Yeah. I think when I was younger, I would do anything like that.
I did, man. I used to get off work at 5 and go see a show in San Francisco and, you know, like sleep on somebody's couch for a couple hours.
Well,
and then
head back.
And then go to work in the morning. It would take me a week to recover from some shit like that right now.
I used to go to Disneyland for the day.
Wow.
Yeah, for dates. I would take dates to Disneyland.
Disneyland, that's so fucking far.
Yeah.
And do a turnaround?
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
Can't do anything other than like a Visalia.
Yeah.
Solari. I don't necessarily need to be on top of anything. I like foundational things. I like creating things. And that's what that feels. They really solidified who they are. The first album was an introduction. The second album definitely was solidifying, no, this is what we're about. And y'all need to rock with us because it's going to always be like this and get better.
Yep.
And I feel that way about myself.
When I think of Tribe, I think of Low End Theory. Right out the gate. I think of the art. I think of all the Africa themes. I think of like the jazz and how that was just like, wait a minute. They're not. Is that rap? Is that really rap? Oh, they say hip hop. Oh, so there's a difference.
Yes,
so there's a difference, right?
Hip hop fan, then you don't. And technically, that album, if we're being real, it's probably hard. You know, it's probably more bebop than it is hip hop. it really is a very jazz influence.
For sure. Yeah, I would agree too. I would agree that it's more bebop than hip hop.
I think Miles Davis would have liked it if he really was, keeping game.
I think he probably would have did a spot on it.
Oh, heck yeah. So that's why I picked Bugging Out. It's just beautiful. The whole damn album, though.
Yeah.
I have it on cassette, CD, vinyl. I've never purchased it on vinyl, but that will happen eventually.
87?
I don't know.
It was 80s. It was late 80s, but it was 80s. It couldn't have been 90s because Low End Theory was what, 90s? 1990. Huh?
Well, 91.
91.
Yeah.
91. That sounds about right.
There's so much good music in that. And the swell from like 89 to 93, that's like the golden era of hip for me. No.
Like all the kids at work always used to laugh at me because anytime like if they was like, hey Jay, can you go grab that? I'd be like, straight up. That's it.
And they're probably not used to any of this.
Well, no, they get it. It's funny. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. And if my grandmother used to tell me the story because my grandma's real weather, right? She's like, I mean, she is like whiter than the white person, the whitest white person, like, that's how white she is. Like, she's like translucent and like blonde, like light brown hair, the whole nine, right? And she was she used to, as a senior citizen, she would walk to the corner because there was a bus that would pick all the senior citizens up and take them to the casino for free. They would give them a free ride. And once they were at the casino, they'd get a free breakfast, they get free coffee all day, and they get a free lunch. They get like little vouchers. And they get a $10, whatever to put in the machines.
Yeah.
Right? So she would go up all day. So she's on the bus. And there's two Latin women speaking in Spanish, right? And whatever, no big deal. And then they start talking trash about my grandma in Spanish, where they're like, oh my gosh, look at this white girl. Oh my gosh, she's so snooty and she probably thinks she's this and this and that and the other, right? And she said, I just let them talk, like whatever, like all the way up to the mountain, right? It's like a 45-minute ride or whatever. She says once they were all getting off, right? And everyone's like, bye. She turns to the ladies and says in perfect Spanish, right? Because my grandmother has an accent, right? And she says in perfect Spanish, she's like, yeah, those white girls, right? You never know who speaks Spanish or not, or who's Latina or not, or something like that. Kind of like she said something to stand up. You never know who people are and where they come from, so it's probably best that we don't judge them.
Right.
That's the day, or something like that. But
They don't do that no more. Trust me. Whoever those two women were, they don't do that no more. School them. That's a good lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
I do believe it is my favorite one. Who was Tammy Wynette's husband? Well, who wasn't? Yeah, George Jones and Tammy Wynette.
They're next.
Yeah. No, I didn't know anything about Tammy Wynette until they sang that one song, and I'm
It's
like,
so funny.
that lady.
It's so funny. Every time you say something like you were talking about, like we were talking about Rufus and Shaka Khan, I have almost the whole discography on vinyl. And so I was like trying to go, just wanted to go grab it. And now you're talking about George Jones, and I want to go grab all my George Jones records because
You're gonna like this episode.
George Jones is my guy.
I didn't. That's why I like this series. I didn't know these. Well, I knew part 2, people. That was easy, but part 1, no.
Yeah. He's preaching. There's sincerity in those words. You believe what he says. You believe what he says, and it's always like it's conviction. It's like it's something that actually I learned from Tommy via Nino is there's no such thing as practice. Play your soul every time. That's the only way you're gonna do it for reals.
Go head on.
One time I got so drunk at a gig that I think I wanted to fight Ian. And him and maybe Toby or somebody else threw me in the garbage can behind the Starline. and then after I couldn't get out, they were like, dude, you need to cool off here, have some water. And they just started like spraying me with water. They wouldn't even let me drink it. They were just like soaking me in it. And then they finally just threw me in the back of his pickup and then just dropped me off at home. But I think ask him about this. And because I'm actually surprised I even remember this because of how fucking insanely drunk I was that night. I think that was the last night I binge drank tequila.
Well, tequila is the devil's. So
yeah. Well, that's just it. Is it like I don't drink tequila at all.
I don't either, but I just last month bought a bottle.
Because you wanted to make that cocktail.
Yeah, because I wanted to make that cocktail, but that's all I have.
Yeah.
Shots though. Fuck that.
But that's just it. It's the only time I'll do it is when other people are buying around and it's there and it's like it's not horrible, but like it's not my preference, Anyway, yeah. But that night in particular, and it might have been another night because this is obviously not the first. As an insult, I told him that he was a Black Widow hippie.
Whoa.
Right? And he was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, your hippie dreadlocks are so dirty. There's Black Widows in there.
Wow.
Yeah, I said something like that, right?
Dudes are so different than women. We still wouldn't be friends if I was.
but
cool no more.
Yeah. But to this day, Devoya, to this day, anytime I see that what is 559 or is it? What is it now? 559. Is it 559?
What are you talking about? Our area code?
Area code, girl.
Oh yeah, 559. Yeah.
559. What do you think that is?
I know what it is, but I couldn't tell what you said.
You not speak area code? Not everybody spoke area code, especially in California of all places.
Well,
that's how you know where you live.
That.
I used to have customers come into my store before 1-5, and I'd just be like, what part of the city are you from? Because it's expensive to live there. Or yeah, and what I think 8. It's is it 815? 815. No, it's not 815. It's not that close. It's 8. I know it when I see it, but it's 8. It's 8 something 8. It's North Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's North Hollywood, but but all the area codes are mostly California and Washington. But anyway, to this day, and I'll see that pop up on my phone, the area code, and I won't know who it is, but I know I have to answer it, and it'll be like I'll be like hello, and there'll be a giggle. Hey.
That is his.
And I'll be like, yeah, and it'll be like, hey, and he's like, do you know who this is? And I'd be like, no. And he'd be like, it's a Black Widow hippie.
I love that guy. I just love that guy, man.
All right, that's it. That's the end of that story.
Yeah.